Okay.
I thought that was the sound effect at first.
Thank you.
This is going in, by the way.
Okay. Are we ready to roll? All right.
Owen, we cannot hear you.
That is accurate. We are incapable of hearing you. I didn't tell them where you were, Owen, so if you want to tell them you're free to. That's up to you. Hello. Welcome in, gentlemen.
I need to get batteries. My TV, no work.
I I was a little bit stalling. I would prefer generally to have 5 at least, just because going without 3 is like we're getting to 50% of the gang, and that's Good evening, y'all.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
I've killed 40 dwarves since my last. I can't get over that.
I believe it was 37, but
32.
I believe it was 32.
40's a holier number. That's all I'm saying.
That's true. I think probably the killing of 32 dwarves was not an especially holy endeavor. Perhaps well intentioned. But well intentioned seems a bit of a nebulous term for Teos.
Right. Big dog.
come and get your love.
Come on.
As the blood cools over what you have realized are hundreds of bodies, the time comes to take roll. Not only for y'all, but for the people of Blingtonstone, too. People are on the streets, realizing that something dreadful has happened, searching for their loved ones. Some of them are searching for something else. You see eyes look for just a little bit too long at the backpack that Volton wears and move away. Now's not the time. Gentlemen, where are we as the bodies have fallen? Starting with you, Mac.
Mac is definitely on his way to go to the obelisk. Like as he approaches, like as he's walking towards where the obelisk is, he sort of like is stepping over the battlefield of the slain bodies, the body parts, the entrails that are all around the blood, and he's actively trying to avoid as much as possible any sort of bodily fluids or parts touching his pristine cloak. Um, he looks around, and as best as a robot can express his shock, uh, he walks very cautiously, and arguably for the first time in his life, possibly even reverently, for the travesty that has just happened. It's something he's never seen before. He's something he's only actually read about books. Um, and so yeah, he's walking over them, sort of sinking, letting things literally sink in, letting things literally process, um, and he wants to head towards where the Black Obelisk shard is.
As you stride toward Volton, you can see toward the sides of this altar commoners quivering, weeping, thankful that they survived, some mourning that they may not have survived intact. You can see to house right of the obelisk maybe a dozen people, eyes utterly gone, down to their synaptic nerve, which has retreated. And they might weep, given the opportunity. But for now, most just groan softly and clutch at their faces. You and Volton are going to exchange some words that will be revealed in time. In the meantime, what is Curse doing?
At the moment, I believe Curse is he's waking up in little guy's arms after healing him. And he wakes up, and after saying worried about his cards at his last moments, passing out and getting healed back, and seeing this bug-eyed creature staring at his face. Yeah. He instantly kind of like gets out, scurries around, goes, "Where's my cards? Where's my cards? Where's my cards?" And will take as much time as Yuan Tian as possible to find his two missing cards, because he's missing them.
Yeah.
So,
As you
would
wake,
you like me? Yes.
your head is pounding.
Oh yeah.
You have been dealt a nearly lethal blow, and only a well-timed healing potion from our little friend was able to keep you not dead. So, scrambling about for your cards, I would love an investigation check with disadvantage, if you please.
Oh no. Tom,
This
am I
won't
gonna lose a
determine-
card? Oh no.
This, if you roll really low, this might determine success. Mostly, this is to measure time.
Okay, that's fine. Investigation?
Maybe. Yeah, investigation.
Jeez. So, I got a natural 20 and a 16. So the 16 will make it a 24. Oh, sorry, 23.
Man, okay.
Holy crap.
As you are coming to, the first and most important things on your mind are these cards. And immediately, your recollection is perfect and immediate. And as you're looking frantic, you can hear somewhere distant, almost in the back of your mind, Curse. Curse. Hey! And you hear and you feel the clawed reptilian hand of a friend shake your shoulder.
I turned to look familiar?
Turk. Hey,
Hello.
I heard you were in shit. What are you doing down here? What are you... Fuck me, brother. His hand moves toward the wound on your head that you now realize is dripping blood into your left eye. And he, like, grabs a little, like, handkerchief.
Sure. And probably as he speaks, he finally his adrenaline loses, and after like realizing how much crap he's in right now and how close he was to death, he just falls. And yeah, he needs some help. So very, very weak at this point.
Perk catches you.
Mhm,
Uh,
mhm.
somewhat shorter than you. He's able to get an arm under.
Thank you, friend. How did you get here?
Well, there's plenty of folks searching.
Hmm.
I, came to check on you and Gerald and Anna.
Well, I, if you remember that yes or no of me seeing what this party of crew with this strange robot person thing, it led me here. I'm tired.
Well, back to the wall, brother. Let's catch a smoke. He pulls out a bottle and hands it to you. It's
Hmm.
beer.
There, that's
But a
what
dark
I'm
lake
talking
stout.
about. The wine at the church is not very good. And he
Well, it
just-
wasn't wine either. Hey,
Yeah,
let's sit down, catch up a bit.
absolutely.
And as the two of you, Perk probes you about what on earth has happened in the
Yeah.
past 2 days and gets far more story than he was here for.
Absolutely. And
Edwin,
in the process of recover, I will say, as the process, he is cleaning his cards at this point. So these metal cards that have streaked through blood, he's taking, as he's talking to the story, he grabs the deck and he takes one card at a time, makes them polish clean, sets it down, makes to the next one, and does it to all 52 cards.
Edwin,
52 metal cards? Hot dang.
you can see glittering golden streaks across the ground, and at their center, black ash, where you, for perhaps the first time, have seriously injured other intelligent beings. Where are you right now, and what's up?
Oh, so. Where honestly, I'm on the map right now. I know no one else is right now, but essentially, where I kind of ended in that bottom right part of the map, um, at the end of the last combat, and he's like just like back against the wall, like he's spent in a way, like physically. Like he just exerted probably the most like raw magical energy he's probably ever has. And he also got hit a lot too. And but then he just starts like he just turns toward not turn. He just like leans forward. And just starts like heaving, like just throwing up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't tell if there's the tears streaming down his face are due to the heaving or just due to what has just happened. But there are tears streaming down his face.
Mama bird.
Gravik. Of those herein present, you have seen blood. None of these men have lived violent lives. You have. Where are you at this time?
Yeah, I'm as the bloodlust kind of cools down, and my kind of features return to their still mildly creepy but less horrific self, and there's just blood dripping from my hands,
And
all
mouth.
around my mouth. I like deep breaths, like kind of just heaving from exertion and shock, and yeah, Dravik hasn't binged like this for a long time. And he is going to kind of look around a little bit for his one anchor who had been there for many years before the events of this took place. And see Edwin just frickin' heaving on the side of the wall. And he almost chuckles. He almost like just a little like but there's yeah, if his eyes could show more emotion, then it would be a look of pity. And he slowly and kind of trudgingly, like he's just done a lot of physical exertion, he trudges over to Edwin.
Edwin,
And
you see Dravik approaching you, body heavy, covered in blood, head to toe. You
gonna
are
s-
already vomiting profusely.
I'm gonna s-
Mac casts prestidigitation to like clean up his vomit.
Oh,
It's not my blood though. I'll keep the blood.
Mm.
I'm just gonna slide down, like turn around, back to the wall, just slide down and sit right next to Edwin, and lean my head back. And as I do, the lights that are in my eyes just kind of wink out for a little bit. You a deep sigh.
Edwin will heave his last heave, um,
He was
for the
last
moment anyway. Well, there is simply nothing left in the contents of his stomach, um, with of which there is the heave. Um, you see some grilled chicken from the other night. Uh, anyways, he, he also kind of like almost staggers back against the wall too. Like looks at you, um, grabs his water skin, swishes out his mouth a little, uh, and like just like also will slide to the ground next to you, um, just smelling horrible. Um, and he he's just gonna say he he's just gonna say what have we done? Like what did we just do? Was that good or worth it? And then kind of just sit back.
Edwin,
Why did I like it? A little bit.
Rick. Dravik's eyes kind of blink open. They're like half dimmed, though a little bit. Edwin, do you see those people over there? And kind of lightly gesture over to the rat folk and the rest of the townspeople, kind of across, the ones both missing their eyes as well as the ones that were in line to be. these people are saved. And most of it is because of you.
You can see in that moment the girl who watched your show sprint toward one of the refugees to house left of the altar, who did not, by a span of moments, have their eyes stolen. And you see that embrace as they weep together.
Look, Edwin, all I am is a bloodthirsty monster that happens to put his rage to things that might have a good cause, but you're not like me. Your magic, your spells, you have directed them rightly. It would not be half of them alive if it weren't for you.
And as he says that, you see charred bones with golden veins streaking up them.
That can be in character. There wouldn't be half of them dead either if it weren't for me.
Aye. That is true.
Ravik, you were sober for months.
Dravik closes his eyes again. The lights go up. Aye. A shudder runs across his whole body. I don't know what came over me. Maybe it was the stress, maybe. We walked in, I saw the rat folk, and they were my brothers, my comrades.
We are living on a fine line, Ravik. We are living on the edge of something we cannot control versus something that may have been right.
I don't know.
I just
Gravik, at this time, an armored man in a silver mask walks up to you, visibly a member of the order, and kneels beside you. Very fine work today. You two, well, we wouldn't have done what we did without you. It's good work.
Lynn's gonna have like almost a moment of outburst here. He's going to just kind of snap at this guard. He's gonna say, "Was it a fine day? Was it fine work? Look at that." And he's just gonna walk away.
Little guy, you have made a habit of surfing around in the background watching passively. Who are your eyes on most here?
So, I would like to go back a little bit to
Yeah,
when.
absolutely.
Let's get a little lead up on here. Um, when Curse wakes up, of course, very close to his face, he sees the giant bug eyes of little guy, really
Mhm.
close up to his face. But you can like, and maybe you couldn't quite tell it through your exhaustion, but little guy's very much like holding up your head just a little bit with two of his arms, just to like, and like with the third arm putting it like in your mouth, like a healing potion to get you going. And you can tell that little guy's like really hurt, but you can also like you swear that like there's something in his eyes that like he's excited. Like that was exhilarating for him. Like on a memory reawakened. And then he's like in the back of your mind, you barely even hear it as your head is pounding from this head wound that he's like, I'll be back, but close. And then like he gently puts you back down when you see kind of in similar fashion how he teleports away, just like the fungus around him just changes to a dark color, but it's really just kind of more blends in the background until he kind of just fades into their surrounding. Little guy, and then like you can tell this whole time, like Curse, you can tell that like you little guy is like gone, you don't see him, but like you can't help but feel like there's always eyes on you. Like he really isn't that far away. Like he's still there watching over you, making sure you're okay. Um, like you swear when you're looking for your cards that like one of them got kicked slightly closer to you, but you're not 100% sure. As everyone's walking out, you don't see little guy. He is hiding in the shadows. He's very much licking his wounds. And after a while, when he notices that Curse is okay, he's kind of just looking around at the carnage and just seeing how the order deals with this. And he's like particularly like looking at the different order members that are alive still. Like
Mm.
if
Okay.
they're like he's keeping an eye on the party, on the group, because they're the people that he kind of strolled in with. But like he's like really what he's looking at is if the order is like around is built around the idea of not idea but built around the religion of Catholicism. How are they being Christ-like right now? And seeing how he's like, are they just walking by these bodies, or are they doing something with these bodies? And just
So
kind of observing.
you can immediately see groups of knights taking on uh, different effects. There are there's a group freeing those bound, right? Just cutting restraints, getting people moving. There are like 7 or 8 of them just dedicated to guiding blind people out and up. There's a group that is uh, bundling bodies in cloth to be, you know, done with as is. And there's a group that is restraining the cultists that remain conscious. Something you'll notice about that rather quickly is that the cultists have ceased to fight back. Once the battle was lost, and once the Gauth was destroyed, well, a little after the Gauth was destroyed, they conceded and have submitted to restraint. Some of the knights are being rather rough. It's been a bad day. You see one move over toward Dravik. Edwin leave the discussion. you see Volton standing by the altar, directing people. Mac moving toward him. Edwin?
Edwin is gone to just start smashing mirrors.
Okay.
Neato.
That's lovely.
Anyways,
And
go ahead.
As you're... No, okay. Little guy. Is there anything
Well,
in particular that you want to notice?
I'm gonna mainly be an observer. Like, I am kind of like, I want to see what is, how are these people dealing with death and how are they helping people that are affected by it, and just kind of observing like that aspect of what's going on. I will, out of curiosity, help out while still being invisible. So there might be an occasional eyeless person that somehow can figure out their way where everyone else is. And then occasionally, if there's two knights moving a body and like they just are struggling with it, all of a sudden, like the load is just a little bit lighter for
Lightened.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but like you don't see anything. Like I'm very much still trying to keep myself invisible as much as possible, while still just observing most of the time. But occasionally, just curiosity, like what is it like to help someone in that way? What is it like to hold the dead body of someone that like was just a few moments ago alive and fighting against us or fighting with us?
Okay.
That'll be it for little guy.
Little guy, you see Edwin. Edwin, are you right now you're breaking mirrors? Is that out of anger? Is that just like a use of energy?
It's like basically he's kind of just like snapped a little bit. He just is like had it with people telling him he did good. After that, and
Mm-hmm.
is just kind of just angry about that because he doesn't feel like that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he's just like
Okay.
I don't like he's I don't know how he's breaking these mirrors, but physically, not with magic. So
Yeah. Like with a rock.
yeah, like
Yeah,
he was gonna crush it.
absolutely.
Like he may well wind up with a couple of cuts because of this, but um, yeah,
There.
Um, as he's breaking the mirrors, like as soon as he like smashes the first one, the two or three, like Mac is gonna turn around and he's gonna yell from across like the giant chasm room. He's gonna yell, "Can you please not destroy the evidence? This is an active scene where we might learn some valuable things with those mirrors, particularly about who Belashira is."
Edwin throws a rock your way and then keeps smashing the mirrors.
A rock clatters to the ground at your feet, Mac.
Not even close to you. Like
Yeah.
it's a pretty terrible throw. But
he doesn't think much of it. And he goes towards Volton and he goes towards the altar, really. Altar, Volton, obelisk.
Okay. Little guy. You can see Edwin fuming, straight up fuming. His mind is swimming with specters, and you can see some civilians doing the same. Some of the cultists have sat down, have their heads in their hands, and are looking at eyeless people that they might have known. You can see couples embracing in life and in death. Tears exchanged both ways, but the tone very different. You can see now that the battle is over. groups of people of the order who are not combatants rushing in part to stabilize the wounded and those who can be healed, and in part to comfort those who are mourning for themselves or for others.
I'm gonna watch Edwin for a little bit,
Mhm.
and while he's smashing the windows, not windows, the mirrors,
Mirrors.
I'm gonna start
Yeah.
becoming a little uncomfortable. Like, this ain't Edwin. And so I'm gonna use the feature like out over a minute where to get like another spell slot back, and
Mhm.
then not sure how close I will be yet, but kind of like standing behind Edwin. I'm small enough. He can't see me in a mirror if I start casting a spell, and I'm gonna cast Calm Emotions on Edwin.
Interesting. Oh man, this D20 roll is gonna change some party dynamics.
It's gonna be interesting because it is
Am
a
I
charisma
rolling?
saving throw. So
Oh.
what?
I pass.
What is it?
127?
Well, joke's on you. The DC is 28.
I rolled a 19 on die.
Oh
I
yeah, I think it's the 16 for me. So.
Little
I
guy.
may be incorrect, but the spell does say that the people that got casted, that got targeted, know they got targeted. If I know the spell.
Oh, this is fine. I
Little
totally
guy.
was anticipating some backlash.
What does it look like as you cast this spell?
My arms are like moving around like as if gesturing some big grand thing's gonna happen. But then like I bring up like the arms all come together and three of them coalesce onto one hand as there's just a pile of spores just in my hands. Like like when you go out to your car and like there's been just a bunch of pollen, so like you can see the pollen on your car. Like a bunch of that like in the middle of my hand. And I'm just like I blow on it as it drifts towards Edwin. And then I guess he just flings a wing at it and just flies away.
Uh, in response, Edwin, uh, simple question. What kind of, what is little guy considered humanoid?
I'm a
That's an
monstrosity.
excellent question.
No? Is little guy?
I
Oh,
would you know?
would I know that? Or,
Yeah, I don't know if Edwin would really know
I'm just
that.
gonna try, because this is a snap reaction. I'm just gonna try cast hold person on little guy.
Oh yeah.
As you see the sort of mossy spores beginning to float your way, with a snap of magic, what does your hold person look like?
Yeah. Um, not quite that, but not. It's more like um, you see like the electricity start to tingle again, um, and it like connects with his. It connects with his wand. It's just like a single beam of a little like energy. It's kind of like Syndrome in The Incredibles doing that. And he's gonna try to cast Old Person on you. It would be a
And
whiz save if you have to make it. I don't know if you do.
as you cast hold person, the energy molds to the relative shape of a human person, taller and with two arms, and it attempts to conform to little guy's form, but is not able to.
You
Kind of
see
just seeing that little guy
little
that did it.
what was that?
It's like he kind of sees that it was a little guy that did it. That was just like a snap reaction. He kind of sighs
You
and then
can
ignores you.
you see little guy's eyes though when you cast at him, like his eyes were like really big, like excited. Like he's still got adrenaline going in him right now. Like that was some fun times, guys, running around.
What?
Hmm. That's
Yes.
unfortunate that you're not humanoid. That would have been really
Ravik.
funny.
As these two are squabbling,
I push myself up off of the wall, and I'm going to trudge over to where Edwin is. Yeah, a little aggressively, actually. Look in the mirror. Look in it. Look at yourself. I'm gonna stand behind you so that both of our faces are in the mirror. I don't know if you turn around or not, Edwin.
So this is after the little guy squabble, right? Edwin's gonna like after the squabble kind of ended. Edwin like had like kind of sighed and like stopped breaking things a little bit, but yeah. So he like can walk up behind him as he's looking at maybe slightly fragmented mirror.
Yeah.
Eh,
Ed, why? Why did you do it?
why
you
did I
kill me?
do? Because I felt like I had to.
Why?
You want to know?
I do. That's why I'm asking you.
You really
At,
want to know?
at this point, you guys can see that little guy starts walking off to the side, but what's interesting is that you see his arms moving, and then he's gone. But you didn't feel like his presence quite left yet.
Uh, you want to know why I did what I did, Dravik?
Why? I want you to know why you did it.
Because I saw you up there surrounded by 15 enemies. Yourself, alone. And I knew I had to do something. Yep. Yeah. Edwin at this point doesn't just quite know what to say. And
So you did
Ravik,
it? Mhm.
as he says this, your eyes move for a moment to sisters carrying the bodies of knights and citizens with wounds from ritual knives and city guards' halberds.
Aye. So you did it to protect those you loved. You saved my life. And yes, you can hold that in the same parallel as all of the men that you just killed. And you just have to live with that. Because this world is cruel and it kills people. Can't you see them in the mirror? And yet there are some living because of you.
Dravik, I don't kill people.
You do now.
I do not I cannot be. I cannot become the same man.
Oh, the same man as me.
No, no. Someone far worse. You know who I'm talking about. Tristan, you would actually know. None of the other people would know. I don't know if we actually talked about this or not, but I'll just text you
Yeah, yeah.
because you would actually know.
Great.
And Curse, throughout this time, you've been talking to Turk about your crazy week, and perhaps this discussion is beginning to catch your ear.
Oh yeah.
As you think about probably the first people that you have killed, but I'm not sure.
Curse is definitely in a spot that after like give me a second there, Turk. I need to I need to I need to be different for once. He's gonna stand up and he's gonna walk towards this argument between presumable friends. And probably right when you get to that point, he'll say, it sounds like the situation needs to change us. Probably not for the best, but maybe there is change. I'm not a stranger to that. Are we not? So I think we need to change once more to be better, to defeat what needs to be done, to defeat what needs to be defeated. As he finally, like, he's saying that as he approaches the two of you, and he's finally there.
Snake, I'll tell you one thing. I've contented myself to my life. I know what we need to kill. I also know that I'll probably lose myself on the way. Because I can't control myself. It doesn't seem like anything will. And Edwin, you're
I
not
felt
your
that in a
father.
little bit again.
You must search your... I don't know. The reason you use our magic isn't just for death. And if you don't see that, I don't know who can tell you. And I'm gonna storm off.
And
I'll be right
as you turn your heel to leave, all of you, in your minds, hear a whisper.
Hey guys, it's the little guy.
Little guy.
Say goodnight.
No, not that one. Hello, Ruthie.
Good night, Ruth. Sleep tight.
I'll be up in just
Okay. We'll blow and kiss.
She's adorable.
She caught mine, not your guys's.
Sure. Keep telling yourself that.
It has been a bloody day, hasn't it? It perhaps did not need to be. The work here is not quite complete. And you have stood in its way. You can see flashes in your minds of a massive, dark citadel, an obelisk made of the same obsidianite material, or you know, it is not, maybe not obsidian, but is so in appearance. You can see cave walls similar to this one, not the same. On the roof of the cave, there are segments as of a roadway. The floor, the ceiling, the ground above is made of carved stone. Utilitarian. Identifiable. It is of Dwergar make. You can feel something tugging at you in the direction of Gracklestew. I seek to be unified, made whole. And you see the obsidian obelisk again, and a fracture carved from it in the shape of the shard in Volton's backpack. Dwergar, few in number, kneel down before the obelisk, constructing an altar similar to the one before you. You all have the feeling that someone is watching you. As the voice leaves your minds,
At the moment that the voice starts talking, you all see like little guy just like appears, and he kind of just starts like, kind of like does a little like twitch thing, like not used to hearing that. Nope, 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 nope. Like that's like it's funny, he talks only in your guys' heads and he's used to you responding, but usually he has to engage in that conversation first. And so just someone talking in his head out of nowhere just freaks him out. And then he like kind of just like after like the initial shock, like goes and like tries to hide behind some rubble. Like just like just like, and like not very good, just like trying his best, like a little kid like trying to hide underneath, like behind like a lamp, and they're like, I can't see you so you can't see me type of situation. Like that's the vibe we're going for, behind some rubble.
you can feel somehow a cruel grin spreading over the face of something.
Mac speedily goes over to Volton and says, "Let me see that obelisk shard right now. I need answers."
If answers are what you seek, only ask.
Do we all hear that in our heads, or just Mac?
No, no, just Mac.
Okay, that's important to know.
That's very important.
I verbally out loud says, yell, I will not play your games. Show yourself, mage.
You too, Mac, feel this smile. A smirk might be more appropriate.
Mac is going to attempt to cast Dispel Magic on himself.
Okay. I would love for you to roll for it.
He just shuts down.
Just like
17 on die.
Wow, that's high. Okay. You can feel the presence depart from you. Kind of. There's still something there. But it's weaker.
He
You're not a magic dude.
I am not.
What's happening with you as this weird magic stuff goes down?
As he I'm pretty sure there is a thought of Curse thinking that, like, it's probably just his throbbing headache and he's just hearing things. Like, but he understands that it's more than that.
You can see everyone freeze, stop talking at the same time.
Yeah.
It looks like they might have heard it too.
Okay. So, Curse is at the point now where he's
Compartmentalizing?
Thank you. His feelings. And at the moment, I think he has strong enough charisma to be successful at this, but he will continue with his strength at what he's focused on now. And in front of him, he sees an open pane, a glass of a mirror. And what he does is he takes a card and he starts edging into the glass with his metal card as he talks to, I presume, Edward, if you're still here. I didn't mean to get these cards. These cards don't mean that I'm a killer. It means that it's a side effect of the things that I've done. These cards have seen a lot of red, mostly in blood. But what I'm getting at here, as he's continuing to draw with his knife on the glass, creating this image.
The sound that it makes is just appalling.
Oh yeah. This
Edwin throws up again.
This isn't a this is what I am. I am these cards. These cards, I did not choose these cards. Unlike you, your magic chose you, and this is the choice that you had. The thing that you do with the cards, or in your sake, your magic, is that's what makes you you, not the cards, but what you do with the cards. I struggle with that. Hopefully you make the right choice with the abilities that you have. And he finally gets done, and you see a symbol of a serpent.
This is okay.
And he stands
Uh.
back. This looks a lot of fun. And then he throws the card, smashes the mirror, and grins. Pulls the card out of the wood behind it. And kind of walks by himself and kind of opening it. Yeah, he starts to walk away.
I don't have no flipping clue what to think of that.
I have a question. I have a question. Does Curse like attempt to do like any like cool like spin move? It just goes and just like breaks like a bunch of them at once.
No, he just
Just the one.
hits the one just for
It
the
shatters
satisfaction. Yeah, so it
Uh.
hits the metal card hits the glass and it shatters out, and some pieces fall off, but you can still see that symbol of a serpent.
Edwin is currently trying to decipher whether that was meant to be affirming, consoling, advice, or what, or if that was just he's just trying to like kind of pondering the words he spoke, but he's still trying to grapple with the fact that he just kind of tactically nuked a lot of people with lightning. Yeah, yeah. He doesn't think necessarily. He's just grateful that Curse didn't try to tell him he did something good. Because that's really just not what he wants to hear. So, yeah, he kind of just lets Curse walk away. He looks at the symbol, has no idea what it is, and he's a little intrigued, but maybe for another time when he's a little less reeling. So, because he is
And-
still reeling.
Yeah. One sec. I gotta see. I'm so sorry, Dan. We've been kind of, skipping on your business. But it's all to do with Vulcan a lot, so I don't. Good news. Looks like Blake's date has gone swimmingly,
Swimmingly, yeah.
or very poorly.
We think it's the first one.
We hope it's the first one.
We hope
What do
it's
you
the
think?
first
We
one.
know it's the first one. We've met Blake.
Blake's
Oh,
got like
man.
19 charisma, dude. He's got
Right.
it.
Dude's a leader of men.
Easy.
Truly.
I'm hyped for him. But we're gonna harass him like the entire next session, correct?
Indeed.
Oh, yeah.
Bolton, it looks like you have found love.
In your eyes
Your lack
that you
of
no longer
eyes,
have.
liver and
I
a
can-
little gushy goo that came out last session.
You'd be like, I can see the heart in your eyes.
The eyes that don't exist anymore because they got sucked out
Yes,
of his
yes,
brain last
they
session.
got melted.
It's like, Vulcan, I know you believe in God, but do you believe in love after love?
Wait, did Vulcan go to the optometrist? What? That's where he found love.
Quick shout out to Thomas's mom.
Optometrist. Yeah.
Optometrist.
She's a matchmaker for Blake's character.
It took me 1 second to get that. I'm like, why? I'm like, I remember.
Yes, my mother.
I remember.
Anyways, continuing on, should we call Blake right now? All together.
No.
How crazy
know.
would that be? All right.
Do it. Blake,
Anyway,
gals
So-
for gals, man. Come on.
But here's the thing: if she's dating Blake, she has to deal with all of us.
Blake, we are a whole package. A package deal.
We are. Blake might be the main part of us, but you dating Blake, you get all of us. We're
If
part
she's
of it.
not trying to join the D&D party, She best at least be down to watch.
For sure.
Ooh,
What is this?
sorry.
That
Ah,
was the
Ooh.
symbol that he made.
a
Interesting.
big snake. Cool.
He's Slytherin.
Thunder.
Yeah.
Big snack.
If you were Harry, if each of these characters were in a Harry Potter house, what would they be?
Ravenclaw.
Yeah. All
If
my
little
homies
guy,
go to
he's in
Raven.
Hufflepuff energy, then I don't know what it is.
All my homies go to Hufflepuff. If I'm totally honest, like my boys are like Hufflepuff people.
I'm Huffbuff.
I haven't done the
Doppelgang.
test, so I don't even know.
Chris,
You mean
are
the sorting
Hufflepuff?
hat?
Hmm?
What?
Crazily, I think Lil
No.
Guy. Has
Tristan's
shown
Gryffindor
himself-
for sure.
Not Dravik though.
Yeah.
I think weirdly, Lil Guy has shown himself to be on Gryffindor timing.
That's low key true.
So yeah.
But
He likes
Owen is
combat.
absolute Hufflepuff.
Mhm.
I think there's a lot of our party that could easily be Slytherin Gryffindor bordering.
The
Yeah.
turn between. Yeah. I think Dravik is in the dungeons. That's it.
Dravik in the dungeons.
Weird. He's either the weird janitor,
Filch. You
or
filch.
he's the new, or he's the new like monsters dude, like whatever Hagrid's position was.
Gameskeeper.
Gameskeeper. He'd be the gameskeeper.
Anyways.
Yeah. Dan, is there anything else about this whole situation that Mac is gonna feel a need to check back in with?
If we're not doing the obelisk right away, which is fair, Mac for sure wants to find one of the dead small tiny beholder spawns, like
Yeah,
little
yeah.
guys,
Yeah.
and he wants to take one. Or at least an eyeball or like a tentacle with an eyeball.
I
on it.
allow
That's a
this.
big eye.
I allow it.
I mean, I've already eaten all the eyeballs in the.
Yeah.
Curse is genuinely curious what
appetizers.
this. Curse is genuinely curious, and that's probably where he goes after the conversation. He goes and like investigates this weird floating head creature. He probably looks into that actually. So he may
think-
meet you there.
Also, just for a point of like, I think Valton would easily be in the camp of we're not touching this, opening this Netherese thing until we get to a church with lots of exorcists around. So
That's kind of what I'm assuming. I don't think Volton is going to be particularly forthcoming with it. Least of all, to be honest, with Mac.
yeah,
He's demonstrated himself to be both an atheist and the
Not
kind
a
of
warrior.
atheist that wants to know maybe one too many things.
The vice of curiosity.
But we will see when he gets here. If he gets here. God bless him.
But in the meantime, he wants to investigate these tiny baby beholders to
Yeah,
figure out
yeah.
what the heck they are. So he would like to ritually cast Identify on one of these guys.
Interesting.
He noticed that
Does
there's
that-
that they shot a bunch of magic out of various eyeballs. He wants to know how.
Yeah, awesome. One sec. Upon casting Identify, pardon me. You would learn first and foremost that it is whatever this eye thing is, it's not a spell effect. Or it like,
Mhm.
it's an effect that many spells have, but it's not
Right.
it's not magically created. There is something,
Interesting.
you know,
There's natural. It's something natural about it.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
How do magical creatures do the things that magical creatures do, and is it strictly magic? Is a debate that I suspect Mac is on solidly on the side of. There's no spell formulas. There's no like consistency to it. It's not magic. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so in that way, it is not magical, really.
Right.
Would he be on the side of everything has to be explained by magic? Hmm?
No.
It certainly seems that between naturalistic and magical phenomena, you know. Anyway, um, yeah. So you can identify that these are not magical in nature.
Okay.
Do you want to do some kind of biopsy on these beasties and figure out more that way, or is that not your field?
It's definitely not my field, but I know
Mhm.
someone who might.
Do tell.
The doctor with the mushrooms. He seems to possibly be a person who is much more of the natural sciences, and I would like to take one of these beholders back to him.
Interesting. Okay, perfect.
When you are
Uh,
thinking, when you're thinking about the creature, Curse will come up to you, Mac, and say, "So, what's exactly is this thing? Is it a creature? Is it like what is this?"
It's it is to my best understanding, it's some sort of aberration, really. Creatures from the far realm of existence. It appears that they are not exactly quote unquote magic wielders in the same way as what you might call myself or Edwin, um, or even Curse. No, not Curse. Little guy. But there is some sort of obviously the naturalistic tendencies of these aberrations to mold the reality for which they are able to dispel sorts of energies that we saw displayed in this massacre. Really, uh, I I don't know exactly sort of the nature behind it. I only know that it's a similar vein as casting a spell, but it is not the same rituals. It is not the same um, cut and dry actions that bend the realities of the natural world to perform said illusions or physical effects. And he snaps his fingers and prestidigitation lights go out, or like little sparks emerge from his hands. Like when you understand magic, it's simple formulas. It's simple willing the reality to move as you see fit. Um, some what modern people today call magic is quote unquote magic, but it's nothing more than moving the physical reality around the person. Um, some people are more prone to other forms of magic. Others, others. You know, um, some magic appears to be what us scholars might call placebo based. If they believe that they can uh, alter reality, then somehow they can. It's a mystery to me that I do not fully understand. Whereas I'm of the hard magic. I see the formulas, and he opens his spell book, and I'm a note taker. I do. I do not understand all the different forms of magic, particularly the ones in this obelisk, which is why we need to get it into a safe place. We need to study it. I need to figure out if this is part of the obelisk that brought me here. And we need to figure out what exactly this aberration creature is. Because.
Well, if you're curious to know if, like, based off of a conversation that we had earlier, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think those aberration things, I think they came out of the obelisk. Why do you want to go back in where those weird creatures are? Are
Because
those your
because
friends?
friends know. History? Possibly.
You liked the history behind the individuals there. Well, we should have not killed them then. I'm sorry about that.
Well,
Because
perhaps,
What is it, Dravik?
perhaps I can be of assistance to you, Master Wizard, whatever you are.
Mac number 316.
I like the Master Wizard idea. I like that.
When we were fighting the creatures, I think perhaps that their magic is very similar, if not the same, as what was done to me. There was a connection.
What do you mean done to you?
Well, I was not always like this. Kind of gestures to his glowing eye sockets and skeletal hand and whatnot. And obviously, my diet is not of the normal kind. I was captured years ago by Drow, and something was done to me. And I think it has something to do with this obelisk, this magic.
And why is it that you say that you being captured by Drow has something to do with this obelisk?
I'm just saying I felt a connection to the thing. And
The
Jarvis
shard.
obviously
The
is-
shard, you mean?
No, to the well, yes, and to the creature. Is that something that we all hear?
Mac and Dravik hear that.
I like. I'm gonna grab Mac. I'm gonna grab you and try and like pull you aside.
Okay, I follow.
And just I don't think it's like super like we don't have to go to cyber conversation, but just like very quietly, just like look, she. I've heard her in my mind before this, and I don't know what to do about it. And if you seem to know lots of things, and I'm not sure what I'm not sure what's going on, and look, I'm not.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure anyone knows what's going on. My intellect only goes so far. Even I can admit that.
Well,
I
then
will.
I
I will tell you that. I will tell you that. This experience that we are having, this voice in the head. Many people have made accusations of this sort for mass hallucinations, if you will. It's a very common thing from people to have mass hallucinations about many things that they might see, miracles that they might see. Mass hallucinations for sure. But this, you're experiencing it. I'm experiencing it. We're all experiencing it. And if my hard drives served me correctly, no. I can't admit that. I can't.
What?
Fairy tales are fairy tales.
What is the fairy tale?
A fairy tale, a story that you tell your young children, perhaps, to help them be good, per se, or to steer them into a direction of avoiding bad.
Are you saying that this thing that's talking to us is something that you would tell your little children to?
No, not in that strict sense. But there are aspects of history that many people make up to sort of conjure up and promote a grandiose persona about themselves, or a group, you know. People do it all the time. People make up stories about grandiose miracles and godly entities that they claim are real.
Master Wizard, you're obviously very smart, but you like to dance around the point quite a bit. Could you just tell me what you know? Or at least what you think you know?
Perhaps we need a safer place than in front of one of her temples.
Fair point. Back to
We-
the problem.
Let's go back to Volton's place, and I'll explain a little bit more. There's some resources there that I need to spend some time looking through first. I'm good.
Y'all can see Volton and Teos in the distance, seeing to order business. Teos is binding and carrying a lot of heavy bodies, and a lot of not so heavy bodies. And Volton is giving a lot of grim nods and directing people about their business. As you ascend the stairs back up to this surface, the stairs are covered in the blood and chips and batter and blade marks of a long battle, which in many ways had no victors. But above, the wounded are being healed. You can see the sisters most especially, and also some apothecaries from around Blingdenstone, having set up tents and helping those who need help. Little guy, you can see Sister Catalin tending to folk, and you can also see Dr. Dwelfin Dwerglin, crushing up some mushrooms and sprinkling them into a concoction which foams up briefly and then thickens somewhat into a slightly more viscous health potion than would be comfortable to drink, but nonetheless a healing item.
Doctor, Mac is currently holding the beholder by like one of the tentacles.
Mac. Hello.
Good evening, Doctor. I hope we're not intruding.
Good evening indeed. Not at all. And he, as he talks to y'all, is like pretty much whipping together the same potion 15 or 20 times. Just gathering the same ingredients. I tell you, Mac, my supply of rose water will be entirely squandered by the time this day is through. What
Well,
news have you?
perhaps you take a break. We have some pressing matters. Do you have perhaps happen to do any biopsies? And he sort of holds the little baby beholder out, kind of like Medusa's head, and it's like dripping blood.
Well, I confess I've dabbled, but nothing like this. And he does not stop making potions. He's he's on the grind.
Oh, perhaps, Doctor, you're a man of intellect, of learning. Perhaps is this not a perfect time to learn about a new creature, a specimen?
And certainly yes, I could attempt, but if I may ask, why?
Uh, we wish to
Come on,
learn more
Doctor.
about
Lay it on us.
this entity. It
Yes.
is for research. It's for science.
Well, I have. There is some more pressing, and with that he finishes another batch of 3 little bottles of like this horrible like thick. It's like
I take
orange
those.
soda, but the oranges are like a little bit bad, and like you, and he finishes murmuring to the next patient, "No, you do have to finish it all within a 4-hour period." And well, I understand the and there are many this is a primitive or a sort of small weaker beholderkin, uh, but and I suppose if I wanted to learn more about the literal relation of beholderkin to the similar but fungal barrel stalk shroom, I could learn a thing or two from that. I suppose that would be extremely compelling. He says, talking himself into it as he's like, all right. Well, it will need to wait a moment. I do have, there are, people bleeding. But I could probably get to it before morning.
Perhaps we come back then tomorrow. Tomorrow,
Uh,
late morning.
Right, certainly, yes. Are you well? Are all of, forgive me, I am so rude. Little guy and Mac I'm familiar with. You're Curse, aren't you? Right.
Yes. Yes,
He raises up. a
I'm
hand.
not. I'm not touching the moth. The moldy hand there. I'm sorry.
No, no offense taken.
Light effects taken.
And he gestures to Dravik, who has blood all over his hand, and you can see him start for a moment, but realize what he has just said, and like sort of decide to grit his teeth and bear through it.
I give a good slap on the hand. Don't
Oh
worry,
boy.
you're
You can see him wipe some dried blood off his palm. Sorry.
Worry, old man, your spores don't bother.
And your name?
Dravik.
Hmm.
Perhaps when we bring the beholder to you, you could, if there's room to take a look in here as well.
Certainly. And you, Edwin, he moves to you, raises his hand.
So, does this hand have? So he wiped the blood off, right?
Yeah, he wiped the like dried
Okay.
blood off. It's on the ground.
Hello, hello. I'm Edwin.
And I'm Dr. Dwelfin Dwerglin.
Hmm.
And y'all see before you Svrfneblin with like big frizzy hair, like in a poof out the back, looks very strained after a long day of hard and unpleasant work. And kind of, something like maybe in his in human terms, like early 60s. For like for gnomes live maybe like 3 to 4 times as long as a human, but he's like in the equivalent of his like early mid 60s.
Bless you.
Thank you. I yes, perhaps it could yield some interesting discoveries. I thank you. I needed a bright spot today. It's exciting to have a new
I-
project.
I do want to affirm you're doing very important work now. Saving lives might be a little more important than research. Keep that in mind. Anyways, continue on.
Mac gives a glance at you.
Well, I thank you, Edwin.
You want to go?
Edwin will swing on you right now.
Okay, but it's Captain America Civil War.
For sure, Tony Stark.
I am well. I take it, and looking at the blood on all of you and the injuries, I take it you all are part of the group that stopped the whatever was happening to the people of Blingdenstone.
Whatever is happening to the people of Blindingstone is certainly not stopped, I can assure you of that. Which is why we need this beholder to be cut open immediately for the research, to understand what's going on, so we can put an end to all of this.
Appears to be temporarily stopped, so you can wait till morning.
Yes,
Ah,
we were the ones killed the thing. There's more to be done.
well, I thank you. In your own right, I fear you may have saved many lives as well. Or at least many eyes. Um, a little
How does-
out of character party chuckle at
Yeah.
that.
How does he know about the eyes?
Well, he's
Yeah, I
painting
mean,
and walk
pretty
out with no
quickly,
eyes.
survivors started being ushered out with empty eye sockets.
Oh, it's so funny.
How do we all know that this is just not Volton's ploy to have people like him? That's more out of game, actually. But
And we really start throwing hands.
Wouldn't that be a crazy plot twist? Vulcan was the villain the whole time. It was the
Yeah.
church. We hate those guys.
Are the rat folk like? Where are they?
You can see one of the rat folk beside y'all. He's like on a bed. He is one of the ones who he's the one that Curse actually freed, and he was fighting, and you can see like a wound of some sort of slashing weapon that is bandaged on his side, and blood. The blood is actually beginning to turn orange and crusty. Anyone who has any Arcana smarts can probably determine that that's an effect of the potion. But the others would think it's really, really weird. So, I am. Yes. Well, my I believe my niece was among those who were bound, but not, blinded. Thank you for whatever part you had. Know that it is not unseen. Shit. I'm so sorry. Bad time. I didn't mean to.
That's
You dirty dog. You dog. You knew what you were doing.
And in the meantime, I should return to my work. Thank you for coming by,
Yes.
and thank you for the new research project, Mac.
Thank you, Doctor.
Little guy, I hope you're doing well, and I must say those spores are looking awfully prominent this particular day.
I'm just gonna stare back at him.
Quite right. Well,
I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to respond with there, so I'm just gonna stare at him.
I've work to return to. Yes. Thank you. And Dravik, you would see the eyes of the rat folk that you would know as Durnovan flicker open and move to you and smile a bit. He has an empty bottle beside him, which is caked with like a thin foam of like dried like orange. Drevik. Good to see you well.
Good to see you not dead. I can't say you look well.
Oh,
Careful. Rest.
yeah.
I'm glad you're safe.
Yeah.
How many? This is the rest of the colony. you all
Well,
taken?
no. 6 of us were taken here. We don't know what happened to the rest.
Did you?
Do you? Did you have. You undid our binds, didn't you?
One of our party over there. He I you're
Well, good. Or, is it. What happened? Were they all taken?
most of the colony is fine. They ran away before anything happened. I mean, there's some dead, but
Dead?
I'm glad that you are safe. We weren't sure.
Well,
Was this? Do you remember anything?
well, it happened while we were,
I
transformed. I don't. So,
and I suppose
sorry.
you woke up. You woke up in the bottom of the barracks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tom, are there any? Because was it just the 6 that was missing from the were rat colony, or were they? many-
When you got to the were rat colony, 6 were missing and 3 were dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember if there's others missing besides the 6, but
No.
brother, the rest are accounted for, and I'm glad to see that you are all here. I'm sorry this happened to you. I swear that whoever did this will pay.
Hey. Save your sorry for now. There will be a lot of time to mourn.
Nay, I will not rest until she dies. The one who did this to you. Rest assured.
Ain't that you, Dravik?
Whatever's left of me. It's good to see you.
You know, if one of us had said that to you, you'd have been on us in a heartbeat.
Aye, well, we're different, aren't we?
Shut up.
You-
Oh, Edwin, get this sorry thing out of my sight. Go do some good, you hooligan.
For once in your life, you look worse than me, so shut up.
Oh, oh, you tasted on the way up too. Oh, oh,
Hey, DM,
yeah.
can we see the bar from here?
You could go to the bar. It is
No.
not.
Just from
No,
the.
it's not especially nearby.
Okay, so like Curse cannot visually see the bar.
You would have to go like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Edwin, in response to his comment, is going to simply give him a slight pat on the shoulder, assuming it wouldn't hurt him, and then just walk away and not respond at all to the comment about dropping. He's just gonna move towards home for him, because it appears like there's not a present, you know, thing to attend to. If that's okay, that's where he would like to start moving.
Yes. That is just fine.
Okay.
Dravik, what are you doing?
My plan right now is to go back to the order of the
Mhm.
orders. Keep
Mm-hmm.
continue conversation. I think I see Edwin leave, and I I kind of start and raise a hand almost to shout out, and his face slowly tightens, not to coldness, but to almost stony acceptance. And he drops his hand and says nothing, and turns back to the rest of the party.
Do you want him to join us?
Maybe he needs to be by himself right now.
Mhm. Split the party, guys. It's usually a good idea.
And then little guy starts.
So, y'all are aiming toward the party headquarters, or the order headquarters.
I will say on the way,
Yeah.
once Curse, as he's walking down the city, he grabs his cards as he's walking. Not his metal ones, his actual ones.
Yeah.
And he just shuffles them.
Yeah.
And full intent of going back to the church. But when he sees the bar, he stops. And he stares at it. And he'll stare at that until either the rest of the party leaves and he's by himself, or he gets interrupted. And if nothing else happens, he'll go to the bar.
As y'all are walking down the road, you see Curse stop on his heel, turn, and look at the bar.
I hold Curse's hand and I point at the bar. And I start moving towards the bar.
Split the party more, split it more.
That
split it.
that
Three
is
party,
something.
three.
Adam was not prepared for
Ooh.
Enabler to come out.
Curse gives a mighty grin to his bug friend. And he joins him.
Who
And-
says I have morals?
And he takes his card, brings it up, flips it up, and he catches it in his deck. Grabs his hand. He actually will pick up. I'm assuming he's a little guy. He's pretty light. He's gonna pick him up, throw him on his shoulders, and
Oh yeah,
and
no,
run
dude,
his.
I'm like 80 pounds max. Do it.
Yep. Yeah, he's going to the bar, and yeah, we can
When you pick
talk
me up,
about.
one of my crayons starts falling out from like underneath my jacket. Like catch it with one of my arms. Like put it away.
Perfect. Yep.
Or color
There's-
pencils, whatever we end up saying they were.
As the hand of a child points at your vice, not understanding anything about what's
Oh, yes.
going through your mind at this moment.
Th-
There is no self-reflection because there's no room for that. And in that moment,
There's so much irony in this.
you are too weak to see yourself. As you head toward a fun night.
I would like to request we don't roleplay what happens at the bar and we just leave it to speculation like the entire campaign.
The only thing that I will say Curse has 15 gold on him.
Oh,
By the
but
end of the
I'll-
night,
I'll make
it will
sure
be
we get
0.
that 15 gold does not disappear,
Okay.
and you're still gonna have
Okay.
a fun time.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Magic users say what?
Gravik and Mac, goal bound, are headed toward the Order's headquarters. Mac, what are you looking for as you're moving?
Towards the headquarters.
Yeah.
Not much.
Huh.
I. He's going to that bookshelf.
Yeah.
He's going there. And he wants to have story time with Dravik.
Hey, Kermit the Frog here. Story time with Dravik.
Okay. What is our story tonight going to be about?
Can I set the scene?
Absolutely.
That's perfect. That's perfect. So good. Yes.
That was good. So I imagine that I imagine that in the headquarters it's a pretty decently barren place, concrete, stone, whatever. There's a bookshelf on the wall. Imagine a fireplace that is just beginning to, or just sort of dwindling, if you will. It's still flames are brewing, but we find ourselves sitting in 2 chairs next to the fire. As it's a nearly pretty empty room, and so as I talk, there's somewhat of an echo almost, but yet there's a peaceful presence by the fire. I say, Dravik, when I originally got here, I had no idea what and why I was here. I mean, I assume that it was some sort of mishap of the Black Obelisk, and that I was studying with my professor, Professor Yuli, who I do not know if he's here or not. I pray that he is not. I come from the realm of Eberron. Have you heard of it
He
before?
said he prays.
I have. What is this Eberron you speak?
It is another plane of existence, is the best way of putting it. You know of Faerun, the land up top, if you will.
Aye,
Right.
I've heard of it.
You know of the abyss. So I've read. It is another sort of plane of existence, if you will. We live in a much bigger universe than many people realize, and these planes can be connected by various artifacts. Some of which are these obelisks. They come from an ancient city known as Netheril. Netheril happened to be in your history, actually.
I've heard of it, but does that mean that they are in your history as well?
In a way. The magic of Netheril has somehow leaked into our universe, which means that there is something or someone who has been in both your plane of existence and mine. And I fear her name to be Belashira. It, it could be some other dark mage. The only person I know who could even think about something like that that is in Eberron's history. I do not know if it is in your history. Dark mage known by Vecna. I do not think it's him. It's based on everything that this Belashira, who I believe we've been hearing. I say this because Belashira is a part of Eberron's history. 10,000 years ago, there was a war, really. An attack on the province of Corvair, which is where I'm from. It's within the same realm of Eberron. And these entities, known as the Delkia, they rampaged Corvair, desolated it, a wasteland. And eventually they were run off. The war was won. However, 6 of these Delkia remain. These Delkia are, some call them gods, some nearly monstrosities. But it is within every fairy tale of every child in Eberron that their sweet parents whisper in their ears every night. Don't worry. They're trapped in Kyber, sort of the realm underneath Eberron. And it is simply that. Everything that I have ever been told by many of my scholars, they know Kyber, what I understand to be your Underdark, really. Kyber is a place of many things are imprisoned, so they say. I have not been there myself. It's not my job. It's not what I was made for. But I fear that the dots are aligning, and what I believe to be coincidences do not seem to be coincidences. I, in my capacity to fear, I do believe that Belashira is the one who has been talking to us. And if that is the case, then I know not whether to simply escape to Eberron and leave her to be your problem. But I fear that if she truly is the one that somehow has bridged the gap between your reality and mine, that no matter where I go, I will not be safe. You will not be safe. And none of us will actually be safe. How is that for your fairy tale?
Dravik stares into the fire for a solid minute. Processing.
Little guy just appears with alcohol. I'm not joking. And it's just really funny that the idea of little guy just always being over your shoulder.
Well, if those are the kind of fairy tales that you tell your children in Eberron, I don't think I'd ever want to go there.
Eberron is very different from your place. Your place, you kill goblins. In our place, we have a goblin kingdom. It is a quite nice place.
Well, if there are any similarities to your, what did you call it, your Kyber?
Kyber, yes.
Anything many similarities between Underdark and Kuiper. What I would say is that, from my experience, it is a great place of chaos. Kill or be killed here. I could not imagine a being as powerful as these God Dilkier, this woman, to be staying in there for long.
And that is my fear, that I believe she is not in there. And I truly do not know what this means for your world, nor mine. But if I can speak honestly with you, my world is far more important than yours. At least in my understanding. And it is of my utmost importance to get back to it.
What gives your world more importance or less importance?
My job is to protect my world. My job is to serve my world, not yours.
And I live in this world. And there are people in this world.
Right?
I say. I mean, you talk a lot of talking. You're very smart. I give you that. I really do. Mac. But I must say, I feel like perhaps it is just as simple as we go and. Well, it's not simple, but maybe we just try and kill her.
You want me to kill her? Have you seen me fight?
I have
No,
seen
no, no.
your magic. I cannot do that. I am but a cog in the machine, and they've already broken this cog. There's nothing left for me to do but to stab and kill. But perhaps I can be pointed in the right direction. And I still don't know if I'm.
Mac, or Drovik, you're missing a very interesting observation that you are missing yourself. You say that all you do is stab and fight, and that you are a broken cog, but yet you sit here with me, having a conversation. Have you not observed that? Do not sell yourself so short.
Come on, Mac. All right. I have to go, guys. I'm so sorry. It is 10 p.m. here, and I need to sleep.
Indeed.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Oh.
Best of luck. Thank you for an excellent session, Tom.
Thanks, Thomas.
That was wonderful.
I will just haunt your dreams.
It's a weird heart you got there going on right now.
Guys, also, is it me or is Discord doing more weird noises whenever we enter or leave, or like when I mute myself, it has a noise, and when I unmute myself, it also has a noise, and it's always like spooky themed.
Spooky season.
Yep. Yep.
We're in that time of year.
Like
Weird.
I'm kind of here for it. I'm not gonna lie.
I dig it.
Indeed.
Dravik kind of. He starts a little bit. And just like doesn't. Kind of stammering almost. I could use some answers.
To what?
Mac, I don't know what I am. And this Belashira, I think, has been whispering in my mind. And I don't know who I'm supposed to be anymore.
Perhaps by the end of this journey, we will both discover who we really are.
Perhaps indeed. If there's anything
Well-
out of magic? Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I want you to ask the question about magic. I'm intrigued.
If there's anything out of magic glean about this situation that we are in right now, this, what did the scientists say, beholder king?
No, and that is what is frustrating me. I have tried and tried to dispel her magic, to learn about it, to learn about her, to stop her from entering my head. And I cannot. Whatever she is, whatever it is, this is partly why I believe it's not a dark mage like Vecna or Sarak or the Mad Mage himself. Is that it is simply beyond my explanation. It is beyond my understanding of the natural world. And I do not understand why I cannot stop her. I cannot understand why I can't protect myself or you guys or my home.
You deal in knowledge, sorcerer, but I hold knowledge greater than knowledge. You can know if you wish.
The big bad then turns around, seeing little guy offering up an ale.
Is it me? Or is it just me? Or is she getting really annoying?
Dravik, you didn't hear a thing.
Oh,
What? She's.
she just spoke to me again. Said she knows knowledge deeper than I could ever know. I do not know what knowledge that is. But I assure you I will find that knowledge. And I will wield it. And I will kill her.
Mac, what if the only way to find this knowledge is with her giving it to you? What would you do then? Because there is knowledge that she offers to me as well. And I don't know if I could find myself if I did not submit to what she asks.
Knowledge is so inconsequential to you, Dravik. What I offer you is purpose.
A shudder ripples through Dravik's body, and his eyes flicker.
Did you just hear her? What did you say?
The words that would make me want to submit.
Dravik, you must not. You must not submit to her.
Stop it, Tom, stop it. Why should I not? I don't know what I am here for.
You are not
And
here for
I
her.
do.
You are not
Only-
here for her.
No, but I don't know. I don't know why I'm alive, Mac. I should be dead. My eyes have been gouged out. I don't have a heart anymore. I don't even breathe. I don't know how
Neither do I. You and I are not much different.
Were you human before you were a robot? Whatever you are?
I do not know. I know that I am created by humans. And so in that I am what they called made in their likeness. So there is an aspect of humanity that I do have, but I know not what.
Well, I remember when I was just a dwergar. I remember. I remember what it felt like to taste real food. And now the only thing my body craves is the flesh of my brothers. And the only thing my eyes can see is the lifeblood flowing in the veins of every creature I see around me. And the only thing I seem to long for is death. And all, all I all I want to know is how I'm alive. All I want to know is why I'm alive.
Death is not such a bad thing, Drovik.
What would you know
It
about
is the
death?
it is the
You
sweet
describe-
relief from this cruel world.
Well,
The
then
end of
why-
everything.
why
The
should
black
I-
abyss.
Why do I seem to cling on to it then? What is
Cling
this?
on to death.
No, the life. Well, no, like
That is a mystery that many of us scholars cannot answer.
I think it's a great many mysteries that you scholars don't seem to have the answers for.
Not I.
I'm not French. All I see is that perhaps there is. What if? What if there was something more than your science and magic, and what if there's something? What if the reason that you can't figure out what this woman wields, the way her power works, is because it is beyond whatever power that we might. That there is no science behind it. It is simply will. It is. If there's nothing we could do. What if we're just spinning in her own cogs?
I think we've had enough fairy tales for tonight. Mac is going to get up and proceed to walk out.
Dropik will sit by the fire for a while until it dies to very low coals. And he'll slowly get up and go to his room. And he's just going. I don't know if he's going to sleep or not. I think he might just sit on his bed and stare at his bag for a long time.
I think that's where we leave this session off. Two party members
Carl.
deadened by a bottle. Two party members lost in their minds. One alone in the night, and two more bound by their duty.
Guys, I'm
Holy
not gonna
cow.
lie. I know it'd be really fun for Curse and the little guy to roleplay, but I love the idea that it was like a super legendary night that no one knows the details. That Curse and I just casually throw comments about it to each other.
Oh.
the
I
rest of the campaign.